My name's Kate Armitage and I'm an Education Project Officer at Hull Museums. I've been responsible for piloting the Museum in a Box, an exciting new outreach service which facilitates the development of mini museums within schools. Pupils lead in every stage of the development of their museum, from researching their artefacts to writing their labels, inviting family and friends and showing them around the museum. The Museum in a Box project has been developed in partnership with two local schools, Maybury Primary School and Marfleet Primary School. Both schools were studying the Second World War. One of the aims of the project was to raise attainment by increasing motivation and providing a new challenge for pupils. This project has been especially successful in raising attainment in literacy. It has a particular emphasis on skills-based learning. It is designed to support new curriculum developments within Hull, in particular the changeover to thematic and cross-curricular teaching. The Museum in a Box project is designed to embed cultural learning and creativity within your classroom and also contributes towards your children's entitlement to 5 hours of culture a week. Hull Museums provided real museum artefacts for use within the classroom and also in the mini-museums. Hull Museums provided 2 initial support sessions in school led by Hull Museum Education. These introduced pupils to what is a museum, investigating artefacts, developing research skills and object handling skills. The project also included a visit to the Hull and East Riding Museum. The aim of this was for pupils to research and develop the skills they needed to create their own museum in school. Pupils also visited the Street Life Museum to further their research into the World War II topic. Online support material was provided through the My Learning website to help teachers plan the writing of their labels, interpretation, publicity, etc.
I think this is just going to be like the best thing that I've done this year, and it's because Museums in a Box provided me with a focus, a specific aim to go towards. The fact that we did the museum, the children knew exactly what they were doing, I knew exactly what they were doing, and there was all different stimulus which helped them to learn. Just all of those history aspects, I feel that when we've done our assessment, I've just been doing our assessment this week, and when we've done that I feel that I've been able to say, actually, that child can do that, and it's not just my more able, it's not just my middle ability, all of the children in some aspect can say that they've hit that key skill in some form because of the variety of what we've covered through what we've done. It's just as a whole, they have had like a much greater understanding than I think they would have done before. And this theme has been run before. It was run before with Year 4 as a pilot last year, and it wasn't half as successful as it has been through using Museums in a Box. They've been able to ask their own questions, which is something that we're trying to develop as a school. As all schools are trying to develop children's questioning, which just has been really useful for. We've tried to link all our theme and our literacy together, so we've been putting pretty much everything bar numeracy and science, I think, together this half term. The artefacts and the things which they learnt through the museum, they did give them a deeper understanding. They have improved a lot, and that's because the way that we did things step by step than we did, for example, the chair, and you just did a quick sketch to start off with, and then we actually said, no, hang on a second, let's just take it step by step, and went through all the different aspects. And the same with the museum, the way when we planned it, we had to plan it down to the most careful detail. That's helped the children with their writing. They have problem solved and planned in particular in their writing better. We start off obviously doing a lot of writing for the labels. Their writing has improved definitely through doing that. Well, it's through the whole project really, because we had that stimulus as well of the artefact at the start of each lesson. They've been more engaged in it, so they've wanted to tell me everything that they know about it. And all aspects of literacy, I pretty much would say I think that we've covered through the theme, and anything that I haven't covered because I haven't had time or anything, would definitely still be able to be covered because of it. Yeah, it definitely raised their attainment in literacy because, like I said, they had a focus. They knew they were writing for a real purpose. They weren't writing because I was marking their work. They were writing because they were going to show people around the museum, and they had their own project. It was raised attainment and achievement. They wanted to do it, and because they wanted to do it, if the children want to write for a purpose, you tend to find that it's going to be better quality, and that's what's happened through the project. I think speaking and listening wise, from what I was observing and from obviously when you were in, you'll have probably noticed it as well, from the interaction that was going on between the children, between my children and the younger children, like I said earlier on, or my children and the older children, there was a really big improvement on speaking and listening from what you would normally see. Because, like I said, they had a real purpose, they knew exactly what they were saying. The children that had come to the museum wanted to know what all these exciting things were. There was definitely improvement in speaking and listening, which in this school, talking's quite a big thing. It's quite a challenging area. It's been really nice to see that interaction between a whole range of children. So definitely speaking and literacy skills, which is an important thing, have increased. I think their favourite part was the setting up of the museum. They were all eager to absolutely get up and just just sort out their part of the museum. And the fact that they then had this thing which everyone thought looked fantastic, the staff thought looked fantastic, the children thought looked fantastic. They've been able to say, wow, that's ours, and they created posters to put up around the school. They invited parents, and it was quite successful. I mean, we had parents in. Sometimes being in this area, we don't, get that much parent involvement sometimes. But parents were great from our class. They came in and looked around. All the staff, even the office staff, looked around the museum and let the children share them, even down to the caretaker. And I think it was that final aspect of it, the fact that they worked so hard for so many weeks to create these labels, to set it all up, to learn all about the war themselves, and then impart their wisdom, as it were, on everybody else. They were so excited about it. It was really, really nice to see. The fact that they had this purpose, that it was their project, and it wasn't just because I was marking it, it's definitely motivated them more. They've really enjoyed doing it. Like I just said, they've really enjoyed showing people around and imparting their wisdom. And I think that that's motivated them as a whole for the whole thing. That even when, we're doing literacy and they perhaps don't enjoy literacy as much as they do making things, as all children do, but because they've known what they're writing about, because they've known it's to do with their theme, and because they've known it's to do with the museum, and it's all linked together, that's definitely made them want to learn more. And so I think that's why. Definitely made an impact on the reading and writing, which you can see straight away. If you look at most children, the average child is meant to make 2 sub-levels progress in a year, and already in sort of 6-7 weeks, my children, most of them had made 1 sub-level already, and that was because, I do think that was because they were so excited and so eager to learn, so the increased motivation, like we say, therefore has then turned into actual progress in their reading and writing skills. I'm a gifted and talented coordinator in the school, so it's something that I'm really keen on, something that it's a real interest of mine. And even when there was no differentiation as such, even when they were all doing the same thing, for example, when they were setting the museum up, you could see that it was sort of more differentiation by outcome in that sense. You could see that the gifted and talented children, they were getting a real lot from it. Their questioning in particular was a lot deeper. There was a lot more open questions coming from them, things which you were really surprised about them asking. So yeah, I definitely think it's made an improvement in them as well. All children have been able to contribute. Particularly what's been nice for the lower ability children. I tend to find that the lower ability and the SEN children are kinesthetic learners, and because they've had that thing there which they can see and they can look at all different aspects of it, straight away it's motivated them, and also they can write what they know. They don't, it's more sort of creative for them. They can do it to sort of their ability. So there's been a huge whole school impact on speaking and listening, even though it was just for that week that they showed the children around. In my classroom, I'd say speaking and listening as well, and the questioning aspect, but mainly I'd say their writing skills, because of, like I say, all these different aspects, which is literacy, but also into their theme. So there's all these different ways to go about writing. They haven't really realised that they were writing, if that makes sense. And it's, I think the fact that they had made such a big improvement in the autumn term on their writing, I definitely say, from my point of view, that's the biggest and nicest impact. Just got to live up to it now and keep going. But no, I think writing definitely.